We're good to go.
All right, we are live, folks. We have a situation in St. Louis that happened today. It looks like multiple people dead, a suspect that was barricaded, and police are going to give an update about a situation that happened on the north side of St. Louis. So we're going to listen in and find out what exactly happened here.
We're good.
JLR Investigates, come on in.
Am I in your way right here? I don't want to be in your shot.
Is your mic on, the one that gave me the mic? Yes. Okay. Just make sure everybody's good. Okay, let me just put this. Wait a second. I got to do this properly.
Chief Robert Tracy will provide an update on this morning's incident. You'll note is during the briefing, he's going to walk through two different sets of incidents that ultimately led into a sequence of events. And as we learn information, as evidence is reviewed, the facts of what we're sharing today could change as we develop interviews and talk to people involved in what happened this morning.
So approximately 4:20 this morning, 5th District received a shot spotter call in the 5100 block of Wells. Upon arriving, they found a person that was dead on the front porch of gunshot wounds. Naturally, we call homicide. We had detectives. We searched for evidence. We asked ATF to assist us to look for ballistic evidence. And if you go over to the scene after this, you can see there's high grass in the area. That's something that we do. What we do also to gain evidence, we look to secure a search warrant by the detectives to look for more evidence inside this home. We kept the place surrounded as we got the search warrant to look for further evidence. About 7 o'clock in the morning, a gentleman leaves the home, engages in a conversation with a homicide detective, goes back into the home and comes out with a rifle and starts firing at our officers. An ATF agent and one of our St. Louis Metropolitan Police officers exchanged gunfire. The individual retreated back into the house. Both officers are okay. They were not hit. We make sure we perform hostage negotiation. We want to check to make sure that we secure the area. Upon SWAT coming, we were able to gain entry again. The suspect that shot at our officers, he is dead by the front door. Upon clearing the residence, there was a female in the living room who is actually is dead as well. And then we have a person, a male, dead in the basement. So we have 3 people that have been murdered, and we have 1 suspect that's dead at this time. So what I'll do is open it up to any questions. So you got the sequence of homicide that happened at 4 o'clock this morning, a little after 4 o'clock, and then we have the exchange of gunfire, and then clearing the residence, we find 2 more people that are homicide victims and the suspect that's also dead.
About what time was the suspect shot at?
About 7. Well, the suspect is about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And
that the suspect also fired at our officers.
Yes.
correct.
So it was an exchange of gunfire.
The 2 that were found deceased, were they involved in that earlier incident from earlier in the morning, or do we know their time of death or anything like that?
Well, time of death is going to go with the investigation. Right now, we have a homicide crime scene, and we also have a force investigation unit that's out there because of the exchange of gunfire with our officers and the ATN agent with this suspect, and with a homicide investigation. We do not know the time of death of the 2 individuals that are inside, but we're pretty sure at 4 o'clock in the morning, that was the individual that was killed this morning at 4 o'clock. That happened at that time. Right now, I couldn't tell you when those 2 other individuals were killed.
The individual killed at 4 o'clock this morning, a little bit after, do we know their gender? Do we know the age?
We'll put out an age. Right now, we don't have the name. We haven't released the name. I have to make sure we're looking back. The next of kin needs to be notified. So until we do that, I can't release that information. But whatever we can release, look for our updates. Our public affairs office has been putting up updates since this morning, and we'll put something out on this as soon as we can.
So many streets blocked off here. Were there multiple scenes where officers were carried around this area on Wells and Academy and on Martin Luther King?
Well, what you have to do when you take a house and you have a person with a rifle, we don't know the condition of the individual that was shooting at our officers, what the mindset is. So rifle or gunfire can go a far look. It can go a great distance. So we have to clear an inner perimeter and an outer perimeter. And we have to make sure that we secure an area that there's no escape, and also make sure we clear an area to make sure no one else is in harm's way. That's why you have to broaden it, especially when you have a rifle.
One more question. The chief has to go back to the city.
The man who was found dead on the porch around 4:20.
Mhm.
Did officers know there were other people in the home at that time?
No, right now we're doing the investigation, and what we always do, we'll assume that people are in it. That's why we kept the house surrounded. You know, you can slow things down, but you want to make sure in any homicide investigation, you want to get a search warrant to look for other evidence to make sure you don't compromise the
Could those
investigation.
two people who were found dead in the home, though, have been shot after 4:20, or excuse me, killed after?
The sequence of events are still under investigation.
They're under
so-
investigation, and when you have the house surrounded, nobody heard any gunshots that I know of after the original gunshots from the shots fired. Shot spotter would not pick up shots fired inside a residence, or pick it up outside with the acoustic technology. But I can't tell you the sequence of events. That's up to the homicide detectives, time of death, and usually with the medical examiner will be able to determine time of death.
And
Thank
how
you
do the
guys very
the
much.
officers,
We
how are
have
they
to go.
doing? They were shot at.
Thank you very much on this. Both officers shaken up as naturally they should be when they have to engage in something like this. No officer wants to get into a gun battle with anyone, but they did protect themselves, protect other people, and both of them are going to be okay, but very shaken up. And thank you for asking that question. The condition of our officers.
I'll help you guys answer any other questions. Okay, the chief's going to head back.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Well, yeah, I wanted to step back before I got undressed.
When do you guys anticipate getting another update?
On X.
Okay. But at some point this afternoon. So we don't know how the three people who were murdered, we don't know the connection between them and the suspect.
I can help. Any other questions?
Was the suspect known to officers?
That'll be part of our investigation.
Can you reiterate how the two other individuals were seen?
That is still going to be part of the investigation. We're still looking at everything inside the home. We know that a female is dead inside the home along with another.
Is it
So
an
what was
adult
found?
female or
Yeah.
child? An adult?
All adults.
As of yes, based off what we have.
And do we know how the suspect who was ended up exchanging gunfire with police, do we know how they were connected with the victim?
That'll be part of the investigation and looking at how the victim and suspects may or may not be.
So she said porch. I thought he said they were both inside when they were found, the two deceased.
Right. So walking through the sequence of events one more time. We have a shot spotter activation just around 4 a.m. Officers respond. They find a person, a man who had been killed. Our homicide detectives responded. ATF also responded to help us search for ballistic evidence. At some point, who we believe is the suspect in this, exited the home and had a brief conversation with both an SLMPD officer and an ATF special agent. During, obviously, whatever was part of that conversation will be part of our investigation. That suspect goes back into the home, moments later exits, armed with a gun, and begins in an exchange of gunfire with the SLMPD officer and the ATF special agent. It is that person that was involved in that shootout that we believe was first found dead inside the home that SWAT came across near the entryway of the home. As SWAT went into the home to start searching the house and to clear it to make sure that there was no active or ongoing threats, they located 2 additional victims from the homicide.
So initially a man was found dead on the porch.
Around 4 this morning.
Okay. And then
And I don't know if it's porch area
Okay.
right around the front.
and that's
entry.
where the suspect was killed as well?
The suspect was killed the suspect was shot, but went back into the home after being shot.
Okay, got it.
With this being an officer-involved shooting, can we expect to see any body cam footage?
As we reiterate and we share with you guys, every time there's an officer involved shooting, the video will be shared after the FIU investigation is complete. and the circuit attorney's office has a chance to review the evidence. This officer involved shooting is no different than any of the other officer involved shootings.
Of the two officers involved, do we know anything about their time on the force? One was an ATF officer and the other was SLMP.
An ATF special agent
Okay.
and an SLMP officer.
How long
and that
have
will
they-
be shared later today
Okay.
in the update.
And you say you do not know if the officers were aware of any other people inside the house after the 4 o'clock.
After officers arrived on scene, there was nothing alarming to a point where they would be forcing their way into home, thinking that somebody's life was potentially in jeopardy.
And
So at that point, they secured it because there was no probable cause to forcefully enter a home. We had to get a search warrant. We ended up securing and surrounding the home. Once we got that search warrant, we had plans to go back in. Obviously, those plans changed when somebody came out shooting at our officers.
He came out and talked to the officers about what time? 7.
I don't have the exact time frame.
But it was close to that.
It was around
Right
the same
before
time
the
frame.
shooting.
Correct. Anything else? Just wanted to help clarify.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of moving parts. So, as you guys know, an update will next be provided on the critical incidents and force investigations page. Okay. There is a photo.
All right. So what we have is a variety of everything, it looks like here. It looks like we have someone that shot at officers. It looks like we had somebody that was barricaded. It looks like we have murder. It looks like possibly someone that did harm to themselves. So all in all, it was a little confusing to me. All in all, it looks like has been 4 people dead in St. Louis. It's at the 5100 block of Wells. I looked on the map. It's kind of like northwest downtown St. Louis off of 180, Hamilton Heights area. Major SWAT standoff all day. Unfortunately, there's no like live streams at the scene there of what's going on. I don't believe the situation is still going with the SWAT. I do have a clip I want to share with all of you. The media put out. Those are some of the, that's the location there, the 5100 block of Wells. But 4 people dead, that's a big deal. You could also categorize this as a mass shooting per se. 4 people dead, St. Louis. So let me play this news clip. I got this news clip describing what's going on before the press conference. We'll throw that up here and we'll listen in here. All right. So that's the media take. It looks like this place had multiple incidents revolving around many shootings. Crazy world, right? St. Louis. Other than that, I don't even see any additional feeds up to try to get information. But if you know any information that you want to share, tips at JLR Investigates, we'd like to know who the suspect is with this. They also say the ATF was at the scene. Feeds went off. Everything went off. So it's pretty much, I think everyone's packing up. No more SWAT. They went in the home, and they say in a total 4 people. 4 dead. 4. Somebody said in the chat, Dave, it's like the new normal. I agree. I mean, this is almost like an everyday occurrence. Not in the same city, but just another city, another city, another city, another city. It just keeps happening and happening and happening all across our country, the wild and craziness. But this one's pretty big because it's 4 people that are dead, officer shooting, barricaded suspect. Wild stuff, folks. We've already discussed about St. Louis, the crime in St. Louis. I wouldn't be walking around the streets of St. Louis. Me, personally, no way. Not walking around the streets of St. Louis at all. Other than that, I don't know what else I can share. So we'll keep our eyes on this story. Thanks for popping in. We wanted to see what this is about. And when anything else breaks, you will most definitely hear it here on JLR Investigates. So hit up that sub button. All right, folks, we'll talk soon. Got another story coming, so stay tuned. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe.